Construction worksite accidents. What are some things that you should keep in mind? How do we handle them? Ironically, there's construction going on at my building, and I look out the window right now, and I've got scaffolds. There are scaffolds 5 feet from my face. It's striking to me that as this is happening, we have a very significant scaffold injury case in our firm, where a gentleman lost a large part of his leg because a scaffold wasn't properly constructed and wasn't properly prepared for him to work on it. We walk by and we're concerned about the people working on these scaffolds. Are these scaffolds as safe as they should be? But because of our construction experience and this construction project happening right now, when all of these different subcontractors are working on other jobs in other places, meeting other timelines, as you might imagine, corners get cut, literally and metaphorically. If I've got to finish that job before I can finish this job, then I may hurry on that job. And I may not be as attentive and as careful as I might have been because I know I have to get to the next job. And so that's people doing their best. That's people doing the best work they think they can to put food on the table for their families. But inevitably, hurrying, not paying enough attention can create risks to other people on the work site. And so because we've handled as many cases in this arena as we have over the years, we know the things to look for. If a person is injured on a construction site, that person should push for an OSHA investigation, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Because if someone is injured, OSHA should investigate. OSHA should interview the relevant players, gather the pertinent documents, create a report that is a helpful guide to other investigation to take place in the case. That doesn't always happen. It should, but it doesn't. When it does, we take the OSHA report. We use it to guide our investigation, our discovery. What depositions do we need to take? What records do we need to subpoena? Because OSHA gets there, the point is they get there quickly. And OSHA's purpose is not so much related to the person who is injured as it is to improving procedures for future work. Certainly OSHA isn't happy when someone gets hurt. They're disappointed when someone gets hurt, but their purpose is to prevent it going forward. Our purpose is to find adequate compensation for the person who was injured in the first place. So OSHA reports can be helpful in that exercise. OSHA doesn't prepare a report, then we have a case right now where we've had to send an investigator to obtain construction permits, pull permits for the site to identify who was the architect on the project, who was the general contractor on the project, who were the subcontractors that the general contractor hired. So there's sort of a checklist or a methodology. Because we've handled so many cases in this area before, we know what information to try to gather, we know the sources to use, we know how to find the big fish to help us investigate, drill down, take discovery to find the other smaller fish who might have been the one who failed to properly secure the bolt, or might have been the one who put up the wobbly railing, or might have been the one who failed to put adequate slip resistance on the scaffold. You want a firm that has been there and has done that, because if you don't, if a lawyer is trying to handle something with which the lawyer is not familiar, it's not that dissimilar from a construction site injury where someone who doesn't have the proper experience is the one who's responsible for putting in some kind of safety feature, and it doesn't get put in and somebody gets hurt. They're complicated cases, not only because there are often numerous subcontractors, numerous bodies in and out of a case at any given time, and the records are not always as accurate as one might hope they would be. Maybe you had these 3 workers here on Monday and Tuesday, but one of them wasn't there on Wednesday, and then another one got there late on Thursday. So, knowing how to piece together all the puzzle pieces is an area of expertise. And you want to look for a firm that has that kind of experience to know how to put the pieces together, fill in the holes, and be able to develop a full and complete understanding of what happened, who dropped the ball when and where, and how to adequately obtain compensation for the person who was hurt.